but can it play PlayStation games? Welcome to the Video Info School channel, where I have now been given a new toy. Shout out to all of the folk involved in this. You guys, I gotta say, you know what it is that you're doing, because you know I'm gonna have a field day with this thing, right? This Xbox full screen thing, it's so cool. But something else kind of is on deck, and that's Steam Big Picture mode within the context of this. So it's a handheld console PC. This is the Rogue Ally X, right? And fortunately, somehow this full screen mode shows up, and it's about to save a lot of save us a lot of money, because I remember shout out to the FPS accountant, the Turk. He said, man, this Xbox Ally X, I don't know if I want to pay this much for a software update. Now, when he said that, I was like, you know what, bro? That's actually what this thing kind of seems like. But little did I know that this thing was going to make its way into the ether via the Insider program. And so here we are. We have access to it. Also, if this device is anything that's representative of the Xbox Ally and Ally X, which it obviously is, I've been able to map the Xbox button to the D-pad. Shout out to Asante for that tip. And to one of the D-pads, ones on the left. And so you can pretty much go ahead and do some really cool stuff. And now the question about this thing playing PlayStation games is no longer a question. But I just wanted to make the 50th video on it. Simply because I remember, and I'm not going to easily, forget this, that there were pundits in the PlayStation space that were saying that it was likely for PlayStation to block its games from being playable on these devices. I was very surprised. Also, there are still people who are saying that, even till now, that, that PlayStation is going to block Steam, or it's going to block its games on Steam, on the next Xbox consoles. Now, we don't know how that next Xbox console implementation is going to look. But if it's anything that's in this particular category, then the whole paradigm for exclusivity is busted up and chopped and thrown in the trash, and then actually put in a grinder to find dust and thrown in the trash. Unless PlayStation stops putting its games on PC. I guess we'll see if they actually have the fortitude to pull that off. God of War 2018. My favorite God of War game. Okay, I know all of you are like, hey, blasphemy. But I didn't get to play the others a lot. Played the one on PS2 a little bit. And then back when PlayStation was allowing for you to basically get a hold of those other games, I went ahead and was able to play it. And so this whole paradigm of being able to run the game within, the Steam Big Picture mode, and also be able to access it even from the Xbox app, as you have on PC here. If you go to, say, your library, I think it should be here on the games that are installed. Where is it? God of War 2018. I don't see it here. Oh, installed, owned. Interesting. For some strange reason, I'm not seeing it on the Xbox app. Or am I skipping it and I'm not paying attention? Anyways, what does it matter? It's on here. And if you have access to Steam, you have access to these games. I think I might be in Niflheim playing the combat mode. That's probably where I stopped last time. I don't know. I may have moved. I may have gone somewhere else. But this is what's going to happen. When Destin said that he logged into his Steam when he got access on that, the Xbox Ally X back in June. This was not at Gamescom. He said he had access to his Steam account and he could actually access Spider-Man. So basically, he could download it. I remember that there were so many. There were pundits. They jumped in. They said, oh, he's full of it. Where are we? Oh, we're back in Midgard. Okay, I think I made my way back. And there were people who gave him a lot of flack for it. They were like, oh, he said he can access. He doesn't mean blah, blah, blah. And I remember as they continued to tweak the goalpost over and over and over again. In fact, some now want to make it sound like, oh, it's not an Xbox because, it can't play all these other Xbox games, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? Honestly, it's at the point where, if you think about it, a lot of these folk, how do you even jump again? I don't even know my control scheme on this game. Let's get down here. And so a lot of these folk, their biggest challenge is now having to fight wind, because for many of them, they kind of paired their identity, with the premise that, oh yeah, you actually, have to have how did they pay their identity? You actually have to have a game that other people cannot access for the game to be, special to you, for the game to have any worth or any value of any kind. When in reality, the game's worth is in how good the game actually is, not that people can't play the game. Hold on, what am I even doing here, going back and forth? Okay, I use my arrow. Atreus, fire. Huh. Okay. It's been a minute, man, since I played this game, so I'm just running around in here. But any PlayStation game that has made its way to, this ecosystem is going to be playable by the Xbox gamer. This is not a conversation. There's no longer any of this, oh, you can't play the game or no. This is it right here. This is what PC gamers have been enjoying for a long time. They've been able to enjoy the fact that these games from PlayStation wanted to make money, and in their bid to want to make money, they broke their own so-called exclusivity code. Because these ports apparently are so cheap, and we're going to look at the numbers in a different video, because I was very surprised when people talked about how, the PlayStation ports from the Insomniac leaks, the numbers that, went out there with Nixus and stuff was insane, that they ported these games with $11 million for 4 games. I was on Twitter and somebody was trying to portray that they ported these games. Each one cost about $50 million or so. They are trying to obfuscate this whole PlayStation's moving to other, their games to other platforms. It's high margin, it's a high margin enterprise, a higher margin enterprise than I would have even envisioned. So being on this particular conversation right now, it's just so funny to see how, people are wanting to pretty much dodge reality that they've fomented a false fantasy about. I forgot it was QTE. Like, you got to look. Oh, there it is. I was hitting the button. I was like, man, did I forget my button inputs that fast? I wonder what the game's performance is. So you can still do this with the overlay and such. That's pretty cool. Let me run it at 45 FPS. FPS limiter, max 30, 45. If it will stay at 45, I probably need to go and turn some of the settings down, which I didn't do. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to play these PlayStation games if that's actually what you want to do. Or you can enjoy the other, dozens and dozens of thousands of PC games, and assess their quality for yourself so that you can see if this is something that you want to pretty much get yourself acquainted with. I'm out. Talk to me in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.